Oh, let's get nuts indeed, guys. Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It is Monday. Don't hit that button. Hit that button instead. Welcome. How we doing? We're here. We're done with Monday. We got plenty to talk about when it comes to some DC stuff, some Avengers stuff, some box office stuff, and some Zack Snyder stuff. Nothing wrong with that, right? Hit that like, thumbs up. Thank you guys for spending some time with me. Whether it's live, whether it's not live, it's perfectly fine. So hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. How we doing out there? Let's see. We got Ryan. Happy friggin' Monday. That's right. It's November 10th, and it was still 90 degrees today. I'm like, jeez. I think that's the last day that we're getting 90-degree weather. It's still freaking hot in here. I still have fans on and everything, and the AC on. I'm like, good Lord, can we just get a break? Can we just get a break for a little bit, huh? James Noel, how's it going? Pretty good. Can't complain. I'm doing all right. Monique, here she is. Happy Monday to you. It's loaded mashed potatoes and instant pot round roast kind of night. I like that. Love me some mashed potatoes. You know what kind of potato that I've actually grown to really like? Is a sweet potato. You know, sweet potatoes are good, especially if you get like a, you know, hopefully an organic one, or, you know, and you put it in the air fryer. I don't know, it's delicious. Put a little butter in there, poke some holes in it. It's delicious, man. I just never was into sweet potatoes, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give sweet potatoes a try. I'm gonna add that to the little diet, and sure enough, I love me some sweet potatoes, man. It's not too shabby, and you know, there are a lot of nutrients in them, you know, pretty healthy. Pretty healthy. What's going on, Fear Jason? Great to see ya. We got Mr. Harbour knocking on wood for you. Is that code for something? That sounds a little weird there, Eric, but you know, thank you. JD McRae, what is going on? Good to see you. We got also Mr. Droga Axel. What is happening? You saw Predator Badlands yesterday and I enjoyed it. Yeah, seems like a lot of people are enjoying it. That's for damn sure. Except for the guys who think it's woke. It's woke. You know how it is. Howdy, Miss Stephanie T. Always great to see ya. Good to see you. We got Emma Jade right here. What is happening? Hi. And then we got Versus Seed. What is going on? Ryan, I've been with depression, and so my girlfriend is taking me to steakhouse tomorrow. Man, I sorry to hear that, man, but hey, at least you got your girlfriend. She's trying to cheer you up. That's good. Take that in and realize that, you know. Remind yourself that she's doing that. Hopefully that can help some things right here, so. What's going on, Arkham Knight? Always great to see you, my friend. Dave, it's already snow. I know. I saw that. I was watching football yesterday, and the Chicago in the Bears and Giants game, they were already having some snow flurries, and I'm going, it's 88 degrees we're on that right here, and I'm like, I'm at that point because the weather keeps on teasing. It keeps on teasing because our nights are fantastic. The California nights, fantastic. Windows open, cool air. We cool the house down, you know, with the open. And I mean, when we wake up, it's freaking cold in the morning. It's cold. I even shut my window at night because it gets cold. The nights are great, but it still gets to 90 degrees. And I'm like, good Lord, man. I tell you, especially, yeah, I know. Those are very nutritious. And of course, they're the purple ones, right? Or the purple ones. But of course, they're like twice as much. They're twice as much because, you know, anything that is healthier for you, guess what they do? They're like, oh yeah, we're going to up the price on it. But yeah, I should probably, you know, do the purple ones or the Japanese ones. They're really good stuff. So, knock on wood and good luck and avoid the jinx, as everyone knows. But you just talked about it. Now it's gonna, you know, you just jinxed it. So if the stream starts freaking out again, you could blame Eric for pointing it out. See what happens, man. Jeez. Anyways, it snowed last night in Michigan. Yeah, I know. It's starting to get cold everywhere else. But frickin' California, of course, 90 degrees today. And I'm like, good Lord. But it's supposed to cool down to like 85 tomorrow, 84, 85. And then we're getting a storm that's coming in that's going to lead us into the weekend. The weekend should be nice and beautiful. Apparently, this storm's going to come in and knock out some of the heat, this leftover heat, and then, bam! It's going to be like 65 degrees. It's going to be like perfect this weekend. So I can't wait for that. So it's hella cheap here in my area. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know why I'm still in California. Yeah, I know, but that is, yeah, I mean, it is nice. Like, I'm not really a cold kind of guy. I don't like, I can enjoy the snow for short bursts, but I couldn't live in a location where it's, when the winters, especially where you're at, Stephanie, up in Canada, my buddy, his wife is from Canada, and when they were dating, they would go back and forth, and he said, when he would visit in Canada during the winters, I mean, it is like what they're like. It reminds me of Just Friends, like when they talk about just the weather, how cold it is, and Just Friends, the movie Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he said like, oh yeah, they advise you not to run in the cold because your lungs will freeze. It's like, oh Jesus Christ, get me out of that stuff. I'll take the heat over that any day. That's for damn sure. So. But again, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, do all the stuff. I got the Patreon. I posted a Sunday evening hangover 40-minute little pod last night of me just rambling about all kinds of things. So check that out if you're part of the Patreon, or if you want to be part of the Patreon and support the channel for a simple like $3 if you want to do it like that. And I'll get back to, I'm going to do a whole thing where I'm going to, everybody, I want to do with like every show, I want to have like one main executive producer and then some associate producers, and just kind of do like a thing that I'm kind of just like working on to give you guys a shout out. And then of course, if you want to become a member of the channel and support the channel like that, you could do so. We have a members, the Wednesday Film Junkee Live is a members only stream. I do have to update my banner somewhat, but I'm going to try to get a whole new banner look going as opposed to the one that I have right now. So just other things things I'm working on, and hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. I didn't go anywhere, but I still did the Geekverse charity stream, which that's always a lot of fun. So if you guys didn't see that, check it out. I was part of the trivia battle that I'm always a part of like every year. Where the hell happened to my pen? No, well, that's not it, but hey, I'll still hold on to it. But yeah, I was part of the Geekverse trivia battle, which I tell you what, when you're doing trivia, especially when it comes to stuff like this, movies, comic books, pop culture stuff, it definitely humbles you. And it was a lot of fun. It was like 3 rounds. It was 3 rounds of a trivia battle. I was, of course, Team Chris Balga. And so it was a lot of fun, and they raised a lot of money. They reached their goal. The Geekverse guys, they reached their goal when it came to donations. So always great to hear that and be a part of something to raise money and do all that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I just kind of just stayed home, worked on things, researched things, came up with some new ideas when it comes to things. And I watched a lot of Predator. That's right, guys. I watched a lot of Predator. You know what Predators I watched? Hell yeah. So I decided, I was like, all right, I'm in a Predator move after Predator Badlands came out. So I'm going to put on Prey, because I just was like, all right, I haven't watched Prey in a while. So I'm going to put on Prey. And of course, that movie's fantastic. And then I decided to watch Alien versus Predator, the first one. That's right. I suffered through that. Well, I didn't really suffer. I was just kind of having fun with it, and just, that movie still sucks. Yes, it might be worse than I thought it actually was. There was like moments where I went, maybe it's not that bad. And I'm not going to say that, maybe sometimes when it comes to the battle, like the first battle between the Predator and the Alien, it might not be all that bad, but everything else is bad. I mean, it's just so cliche, the way that things were when it came to those types of movies, so early 2000s. And Paul W.S. Anderson, he sucks. He sucks. He just sucks. Except for Event Horizon and the first Mortal Kombat. He sucks. And I'll even give the first Resident Evil. But after that, he sucks. But yeah, I watched that one. I was not going to watch the second Alien vs. Predator. No way, because that one might actually be worse, which is crazy. That actually might be worse. I thought about it, but I was like, nope, I need a palate cleanser, so I put on Killer of Killers. And that was definitely a palate cleanser. And it's, and it's so funny too, because obviously we're going to be talking about the Predator Badlands box office report, but naturally, of course, like I said, you got that, those guys that are part of media that very much lean one way politically, that are saying it's woke, it's slop, look at what they did to Predator, oh my God. When it's just like, it's so ridiculous. It's like so ridiculous. I'm like, did you not watch Killer of Killers? Because people were saying that, Badlands was watered down and it was this. And I was like, no, Trachtenberg just came up with a kind of like a brilliant type of story that was unlike any other Predator story, that just kind of made it go like, oh, hey, you can make it PG-13 if you do it like this. And hey, we can have a Predator that's a protagonist. And it can be all right. I'm not saying it was all top notch. Yes, some things I was kind of going, okay, that's a little ridiculous. This is a little ridiculous. But for the most part, I absolutely enjoyed the shit out of Predator Badlands. You guys know this. And I'm sure a lot of you guys did too. So I don't know. It's all, but you know how it is. Everybody's doing that. And I'm just going, okay, the next Predator movie is most likely going to be a fucking hard R. Don't worry, guys. They're not going to water down this kind of stuff. I know. But I also kind of get it, because, yes, it was a lot more lighthearted, Predator Badlands. It was. But it worked. I thought it worked. And I have a crush on Ellie Fanning now. Jesus Christ. She was great. So, anyways. It was just a nice, it was still everything the Predator did when it came to kills, when it came to killing synthetics and creatures. It was just like how that would happen if you kill a human. But the fact of the matter is, standards and practices is just that. If it's not human beings, if it's not red blood, you can get away with it not being rated R. So pretty good stuff right there. So anyways, all right, I'm rambling. Like I said, hopefully you guys had a good day. Good weekend, and watched football yesterday, did a lot of cleaning, and you know how it is. It's fun to always do cleaning, right? Yeah, but I was actually in a cleaning mood, so I did do some cleaning. Anyways, guys, all right, let's get to it. Let's get to the tweets, and we're going to start off right here. Oh, it's happening, guys. We've been hearing about it, and it is definitely happening. That's right. A Legacy sequel is coming out. It seems like Warner Brothers, and I guess it's Warner Brothers, right, who handles this franchise. I basically saw, like, when everybody was freaking out about The Mummy 3, guess what? They are now freaking out. I don't know if it's going to get this much of a freak out, but it might eventually if this actually happens full on, and maybe when we get that first image of good old Gizmo right here. But yes, Final Destination Bloodlines duo Zack Lipovsky, Adam B. Stein joined Christopher Columbus to write Gremlins 3. There you go. It's happening. So does this mean that Phoebe Cates comes out of retirement? She retired as an actress. I don't even remember what last movie that she did, but I don't know if this bring her out of retirement. Did they try to, Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement to do the Spaceballs sequel. So does Phoebe Cates come out? Zack, what's his name? Zack, I can't remember his last name. The star of the first two Gremlins movies. He's going to most likely come back. You have to have him come back. And of course, you're going to have little Gizmo. But I just wonder if Phoebe Cates is actually going to come back. That is the question. And my God, I hope so. She's probably still a stunner. My God. She's fantastic. But anyways, so Chris Columbus is actually going to be helping write in that. I think he's directing it too. So just make sure that there's not too many VFX, and keep the little guys, animatronics and puppets and stuff like that. Keep it like that. Keep it with that. Don't make it AI or visual or VFX like crazy. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Michael Jackson. Did you guys see the Michael Jackson trailer? Holy crap. This trailer blew up. Absolutely blew up. And again, we were wondering like, okay, is this movie in trouble? There's like some things. There's reports that were saying like, oh my God, this thing might be in trouble. There's reshoots happening. There's lawsuits possibly because, let's face it, some controversy when it came to Michael Jackson. Let's just face it. We can't ignore those. But yes, it was like one of those things where, man, when are we going to actually finally see any kind of footage from this movie? And we finally got the trailer, and I'm sure you guys watched it. Ended up being like, it's at like, on Twitter, it's at like 50 million plus, probably even more now. The last time I checked, I think it was yesterday, it was like 50 million plus. when it comes to a biopic, this is like the most watched trailer ever. But man, I tell you what, I mean, it's a good trailer. Now, is the movie going to be like this? And obviously, you know, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. And I probably should mute the music because definite copyright. But I mean, Jafar Jackson looks like he's going to freaking nail this role because, I mean, everything about the dance moves, the way he moves, the way he talks. You know, some people are making fun of the way he looks because when you see him dead on, yes, it's a little bit like, whoa, okay, but it's like, yeah, but of course he's not going to look exactly like it. But look at the moves. Look at the moves. Everything just looks like it's like they filmed it as Michael Jackson was making it. I do like that though. Miles Teller. I was like, I didn't know Miles Teller was in this. Did you guys see Miles Teller right there? Where's he at? I can't find him. But Miles Teller is like in there somewhere, wearing quite a wig. That's for damn sure. Where's Miles? Right there. He's playing some kind of executive right there. But hey, something. He looks a little interesting. But yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't even think they've announced that if this is like a two-parter or something like that. But I'm just saying. Yeah, I know. Some people are like, what the? I'm like, well, yeah, he looks like Michael. He sounds like Michael. It's fine. He doesn't look exactly. Nobody's going to look exactly like it. But I don't know. The moves are there. Everything's there. Pretty interesting. So I don't know. All I know is people were freaking out because I had a clip that I talked about, like Michael Jackson biopic In Trouble. And that clip started blowing up, my YouTube short. It's like blowing up right now. It's going into like almost viral status when it comes to YouTube shorts. And a lot of people are like, well, are you freaking out? It's coming out. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this was back in February, guys, okay? We didn't know what was going on. Can you check the description to see when I uploaded the video? I don't mean to get all maniscalco on you, but I'm just saying. Relax. Okay? All right. I'm just saying, I don't know. It's just kind of funny. I think I brought this up on the Vodka stream where we're like, yeah, I literally have a clip that has been blowing up in the past since this trailer debuted. And yeah, and then I'm looking at the comments and people are like, it's a mess. The comments are a mess. I'm not even responding, but I'm just looking and a lot of people are like, it's okay. Why are you freaking out? I'm like, this is back in February, all right? This was like 9 months ago, okay? Somebody's had a kid since then. So let's not freak out, all right? But you know how people are. The sequel should be Michael to he. I try to do that. I can't, my voice can't get that high. Straight Outta Compton was huge. Yeah, Straight Outta Compton was good. Straight Outta Compton was really good. I really enjoyed Straight Outta Compton. And it was big, and it worked. It definitely worked, so... We'll see. I'm looking forward to this, though. I'm definitely looking forward to this. And Tom Cruise, of course, you know, he took a little break. Maybe he's been showing support, obviously, for movies. You know, Tom Cruise, he's all about showing up to the theater, getting a big bucket of popcorn, and showing up to to watch movies, support movies. And I don't think we've really seen him too much since it came to Mission Impossible, his Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Final Reckoning. I don't know if we saw him with something else. Maybe he showed up somewhere else, but he did show up to the Running Man screening. That's right. Another great night out with my friends at the movies. You guys crushed it. Congratulations. I laughed, was on the edge of my seat, and ate way too much popcorn. So there's Tom Cruise, of course, supporting his Top Gun Maverick co-star Glenn Powell. And there's the whole group right there. Cast and director Edgar Wright. Cannot wait to see this movie this week. So much looking forward to it. Edgar Wright, Running Man, come on. Me and my dad are seeing it this Thursday. Cannot wait for that. What's going on, Clone Avenger? Good to see you, man. You got some better internet? Hey, that's good. Oh, you know, good internet's good. That's for damn sure, right? All right. What else we got here? A new player has entered the ring. Or should I say fighter? I don't know. But we still have a few more weeks till we know where the hell Warner Brothers is going. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. Warner Brothers being, someone else's bitch. I don't know. It's just, my God. But here you go. NBC Universal is now planning a bid to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. Access has been given to WB's financial records. They are only interested in the studio and streaming business. Seems like a lot of people aren't interested into the TV stuff or the Discovery stuff. They just want Warner Brothers, okay? That's one of the things. But I'm just going, okay, I don't know how long this is going to drag on. Hopefully, like I said, before Christmas, apparently in the middle of December, that is when supposedly, like, when we're going to get whether Warner Brothers is going to stay by themselves, which I think they should. I wish they would stay by themselves, or if they're going to go to wherever. So we're all just like anxiously waiting, and hopefully there's not going to be too much drama when it comes to all that. But of course now Universal is going to be dipping their toe in it. Have you heard anything about Apple TV? A lot of people wanted Apple TV, Apple in general. They just want Apple. Or Amazon. I don't think there's been really talk of like that. MGM, there really hasn't been talk of that. It's just been some other players, and some ones I haven't even heard of, which is kind of crazy. And then of course there has been this whole thing about Saudi Arabia. You know, that one dude, I can't remember his name right now, obviously, but it's just, it was, well, let's face it. I mean, I don't know his name by heart. Nothing against it, just saying, don't cancel me. But I'm just saying, there's that one guy who is obviously that's very much all about Zack Snyder's UFC movie, and I think that he's going to help back that movie. And of course, he's a big UFC lover. There's that one dude where a lot of people were hoping that, and there was even talks about possibly a Saudi company purchasing Warner Brothers, which would be crazy if that were to happen. And some people were actually supporting that. I saw that on my page and went, what? You're actually supporting that? You're going to support that? Okay, all right, well, but then of course I look on their profile and what do I see? I'll let you guess what I saw. Snyderverse stuff. But I'm just saying, it's just like one of those things where I'm like, you guys don't really care about, the business. Long as like there's a possibility you might get your superhero movies you like. Kind of crazy where we're at right now, but hey, that's what happens. But yeah, there's been some interesting things when it comes to all this. I just think Warner Brothers should stay where they're at. They had a killer year. Keep it going. And I don't know. I worry about it because, another thing we don't talk about too, some things that, certain individuals that have a bunch of hashtags in their profile don't even talk about too, is the fact that, when mergers happen, guess what happens? Jobs get lost. But I'm sure some of those guys don't even give a shit about that, as long as there's a possibility of them getting their superhero movies that they like, or them winning some kind of hashtag war, some kind of tribalistic kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, jobs do get lost, which sucks. That's why a lot of people, there are people that were within the business trying to protest the whole Paramount takeover. And that whole thing's been weird too. There was a whole thing about Paramount, and they were like, oh, yeah, David Ellison, he's full MAGA. He's a right-winger. He's going to turn it into like a Nazi thing, and it's like just the way, how news just starts spreading like that. And I'm going, where is this coming from? This is all kind of weird. Meanwhile, you have Trey Parker, South Park guy, commenting about making fun of Donald Trump, because every week it seems like they're shitting on Donald Trump and shitting on politics, because that's where they're at right now. And he was like giving an interview saying like, yeah, the leaders at Paramount don't give a shit. They just let us do what we want. And I'm going, okay, so where did all this whole thing that like Paramount is MAGA and all this kind of stuff, when they're allowing South Park to just shit on Donald Trump like crazy, like every week? And I'm just kind of going like, this is why we got to like pump the brakes on a lot of this stuff. I'm just like, oh man, it gets all crazy. It just gets all crazy when it comes to all this. I don't know. But we'll see. Like I said, we still have probably a few more weeks till we see what happens when it comes to Warner Brothers. But like I said, there are some people that are for sure it's going to that Netflix place. That's what happens. David Harbour and Millie Bobby Brown. What's going on with that? Did you guys, I kind of talked about it, but I didn't want to really dive into it. I think this came, from the Daily Mail? Was it the Daily Mail that first reported that there was some kind of investigation that was happening about harassment of David Harbour when it came to Millie Bobby Brown? And a lot of people were going, oh shit, right after, the premiere was about to happen for season 5, and the trailer came out. And all of a sudden it's like we have this whole thing that was being talked about, but I was going, I don't know if this is legit, but there was a lot of, other websites that, of course, sourced the Daily Mail, I think it was, and it was all just kind of crazy. But then you see this at the premiere, and seems like things are pretty good right here. They hugged it out. I don't know. So a lot of people are going, oh, yeah, it's all false. Everything's fine. And even Millie Bobby Brown said, oh, yeah, everything's good and blah, 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 blah. But then something else came out that essentially said that it wasn't recent. It was in the past. It wasn't like this recently happened. It was something that happened in the past, like as in years ago, like a few years ago or something like that. So now there's a question of, now the story just came out, but it was actually something that happened a few years ago. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but they seem like they're perfectly fine. She said everything's good, and so it seems like things are good. 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 It's good. It's good. All right, what else we got? Got more stuff with that. Oh, this is cool right here. The architects of the DCEU and the DCU. And it's not just DCU stuff right here, because we have Travis Knight and Mariano Navarro. And you guys know I love me some goddamn good art. I love this art right here. And it is kind of interesting when you see these pieces of art right here, because they look like comic book covers. And I would gladly have both of these on my wall. And it is kind of interesting because, man, when it comes to the whole discourse, when it comes to Zack Snyder fans and James Gunn fans, and it's, mind you, it's only the crazies. I always have to remind you, it's only the crazies, yet there's really a discourse. The crazy nuts of both. There are people in the middle that enjoy both, or just go, I don't really like the other, but I'm not going to sit here and bitch about it. I'm not going to sit here and pound my keyboard every day and bitch about it and whatever the hell. They don't do that, which I appreciate those people the most. But of course, there's always going to be the crazy fanatics out there. But these two pieces of art really just kind of capture like, wow, these two guys, yeah, they think completely different. They have completely different styles. And yeah, pick your poison. I'm more of a Zack Snyder guy than a James Gunn guy. I'm okay with James Gunn. I like him. I'm good with them, but man, I love me some Zack Snyder stuff. So check this out. Here's some art right here. First off, we got Mariano Navarro's art that's showing Zack's head. So this is all stuff right here. So you got Army of the Dead, you got Sucker Punch, you got Watchmen, you got 300, you got Dawn of the Dead. Of course, you have BVS, and you got Wonder Woman right there. That's one of Wonder Woman. That's of course Rebel Moon. What am I thinking? That is not Wonder Woman, but that is from Rebel Moon. You got Darkseid and everything, and that just looks pretty cool. So that's like Zack's head, and then you got Travis right here. Boop, and then you got way creepier drawing right here, but it's really cool. It's James Gunn's head right there, kind of showing everything. So, but it's just kind of cool because both of these directors have made a Superman movie and have made Superman movies that are really not like each other. And of course, you can see it right there. You got Weasel, you got Crypto, it's Superman, you got Starro, you got Eagly, you got Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you got, I think this is what's his name from Slither right there. You got some things right there. So not too shabby. I don't know, just kind of like that. Just kind of like that stuff. People just representing the brains of these creators, because they are both very creative people, and they are both unique in their own styles. And that's perfectly okay. When I see people say, like, especially when James Gunn posts something like Black and White or something like, oh yeah, he so wants to be Zack Snyder. No, he does not. He wants to be his own guy. Stop saying that. Okay, nobody wants to be like that or like this, okay? Just because you're obsessed with somebody, that's fine. And then, of course, when people on the other side, the diehard gun nuts, just go like, there's no way Snyder couldn't do it. Shut up, okay? You don't like his shit, move on. He's not your flavor. Get the fuck on. But I really love, and I would have that in a frame, both of them together, both of those drawings together, and be like, oh yeah, look at that. These guys right here. Pretty cool stuff. I love it. Chris Daughtry made his BVS comic, made a BVS comic cover. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. Love to hear BVS talk, that's for sure. All right, what else we got? Oh, yeah, we got this right here. Stunt training day 1 on Predator Badlands. And again, I don't know how many times I have to emphasize this. Ellie Fanning is just adorable. She's just adorable. But if you want to kind of like see how they pulled off the whole thing of having Thea on the back of deck, you know, how they had like pulled that kind of stuff up, because it is kind of interesting, because obviously visual effects had to be involved, but of course there had to be like some harnesses, there had to be some things. But so we have day 1 of stunt training, and it's just Ellie Fanning. It's not the dude who plays deck. It's the stunt performer who did a lot of the stunts when it came to deck, the Predator. So check this out.
And action.
And she's just so cute. She's so cute. She's just smiling. But yeah, I mean, obviously most of the movie was on a set, green screen, so they could have these harnesses. But yeah, that's big. And then of course when, you know, she'd be wearing, you know, green pants or blue pants or something right there.
Day 1.
So there you go. So that's how they did it right there, and that's pretty sweet. Yeah, she's just like boom. She's tall too. She's a tall woman. Her sister is like, you know, 5'2", and she's like 5'9" or something like that. But yeah, she's a tall one. She got legs. But I like that. That's Demetrius. I don't think that's. Is that Demetrius Kalamantangi? I don't know if that's him. I think that's his stunt performer, so that might be a little off. I was reading something else when it came to that. Anyways. Dwayne Johnson, good old DJ, reflecting. What is he reflecting on? Well, he's reflecting on Black Adam. Which is, you know, we got a quote that was going around. Not really much here. But he reflected on Black Adam. And let's face it, you know, like I said, when it came to that time, it was very interesting. It was a very interesting time for DC. And I think there was a lot riding on Black Adam because Dwayne Johnson was involved. And they were really trying to do something. You get Pierce Brosnan, you know, you get Pierce Brosnan in there. It's, you know, when it comes to Black Adam, we talked about this on the Vodka stream. It's not a bad movie. It's an entertaining movie. There's things I have issues with it, most definitely, and I've expressed those issues when it comes to it. But it's shot fairly well. I don't know what it needed really to be something that was going to be widely successful. Now, Black Adam was not a flop, but it wasn't widely successful. And I think that's what they were banking on. They were hoping that it was going to at least be like over $500 million. And maybe that was going to be like their green light to have this Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, DCEU that was going to have Henry Cavill back. And who knows who else would have came back when it came to essentially Snyderverse. You know, and I talked about it during that time, and I was hearing things that there was like a little bit of a power grab that was happening. And David Zaslav kind of just didn't know what the F he was doing because, let's face it, does he still even know what he's doing? It sounds like he's just trying to flip the house that is Warner Brothers. But, you know, while all that was happening, and Pam DeLuca and Pam Abdi and Michael DeLuca, they were like in the middle of this kind of weird power grab, but they were trying to be like, okay, well, it seems like everybody wants a Superman, then they want to tease of a Superman and Black Adam. So, hey, we like us some Henry Cavill. People like them some Henry Cavill, so let's get him in here. But sadly, that didn't drive box office tickets either. And it's so funny, too, because, you know, the diehard Henry Cavill Snyder fans, they were shitting on the whole thing during that. And then since then, they've, like, kind of come around and flipped it because, you know, yeah, you know how it is when it comes to fandom. But I'm just saying, when it came to all that, yes, Dwayne Johnson, but I almost think that it was probably a blessing because it's like if Dwayne Johnson would have gotten that and $7 theaters would have gotten DC Studios, he would have had to, you know, keep up appearances and keep up, you know, being Black Adam for another decade, you know, into his 60s, where he has to like keep up the juice, you know. Obviously, we've all talked about how he's kind of sunken down. He's kind of sucked in a little bit, where he doesn't look as pumped up. Especially, you know, when it came to the Smashing Machine tour. And even though that movie didn't do all that well at the box office, it still, you know, it still showed that, hey, he's got some range. And I think still people were talking about it. There's still word of mouth. And I hope it finds light on, home video and streaming and everything. But yeah, but he was reflecting on it and basically was saying, I loved making Black Adam. We had a great time. Loved creating those characters and introducing other characters as well in that universe. Had a great time. Had a great time. Yeah. I'm sure there's a little bit of sour grapes. There's got to be a little bit of sour grapes right there. I'm just saying. There's got to be a little bit of that where it was probably an interesting time for him. There's been definitely a pivot when it comes to his career, and he knows it. And I think that if it was successful and he would have went forward with that version of the DC universe, and maybe Gunn wouldn't have come in, he wouldn't have done the Smashing Machine. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he would have. Who knows? But good on Dwayne Johnson. That's all I'm saying. Good on Dwayne Johns. All right, what else we have here? Box office, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Got him in. Oh, here's something right here. This is sexy. Sexy, sexy, sexy. You love me some Batman concept art or, like fan art or whatever. And we got John Regan right here again, which I've talked about his art numerous times because the man just does great art. And I suggest you follow him. And he's a big advocate for, of course, having Brendan Sklenar to be Batman in the DCU. And he's kind of taken he's looked at the comic books and been like, you know what? I'm gonna take that concept of the new Batman costume design. I'm gonna apply that to Brendan Sklenar, and he did that very thing right here, and it's pretty damn awesome. Look at that. Ooh, look at that bat. Look at that bat on there. It's blue. Everything's blue. Of course, it's got the chones, but I don't mind the chones on this one. For some reason, the chones look pretty good with that freaking utility belt. I tell you what. Looks pretty freaking awesome right there. But he also did another version where he had the black bat. Now, I like this even more. I actually like the fact that everything is more blue. And then, of course, the chones aren't technically there. Now you got a different kind of scheme when it comes to the pants of the bat suit right here. And I like this a whole lot more. Because then it kind of wipes out the whole chones debate, and it's not really chones, it's just the way that pants are designed, and I don't mind that at all. And again, utility belt, I love me some big pouches on the utility belt, and I actually do like the scheme of the fact that the DCU Batman could possibly have the blue and gray color scheme, but have the bat be black. I actually really like this a lot, so I mean, why not? Looks cool, looks interesting, and that's, of course, got the white eyes, too. Who knows what's going to happen when it comes to those white eyes. Anyways, what are we doing? All right, keep going. Let's see, I think we're... Oh, okay, so Wednesday, guys. Wednesday, I don't know, maybe I'll do some kind of reaction. I don't know, but... what is it called? The Super Mario Galaxy movie, which of course is the sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie that, made $1 billion at the box office and a lot of people enjoyed. We're actually going to get the first trailer on Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and of course 6 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll be awake. I don't know what I'll do, but they did give us a first look right here. So check it out. There it is. Just a bunch of shroomy dudes. That's what I'm talking about. So we got that beautiful little shot right here. This is what it looks like when I take shrooms. Yeah, pretty much, right? So there's your little first look right there. But yeah, look forward to that trailer. Apparently it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen on Wednesday. And then, yes, today, I can't believe it's been 3 years. God damn it. I can't believe it's been 3 years. But yes, guys, I have my little mineral water right here, so I'll raise this up. It's been 3 years since Kevin Conroy died. Yeah, can't believe it's been 3 years. It seems like it wasn't that long ago, but yeah, 3 years since, and I saw you guys even talk about it in the chat, which is, man, can't believe it's been that long. But I wanted to wait to see, because Tara Strong, who's worked with Kevin Conroy numerous times when it came to voice acting through numerous different mediums. When it comes to Batman, Batgirl, Harley Quinn, she's got a lot of range. She posted this right here. You left me 3 years ago today. My Batman, Kevin Conroy, still doesn't feel real. It definitely doesn't feel right. There's a bat-shaped hole in my heart forever. So, yeah. It's like, dang. And, of course, yeah, right there. And then there's them two right there. Man. Sucks, man. Sucks. Really does suck. Sucks that we lost that guy. But cheers. Cheers to Kevin Conroy. All right, what else we got? Well, we got a couple more things. Okay, so Predator Badlands, did you guys know that the Duffer Brothers, the guys who were behind Stranger Things, did you guys know that they actually had something of a cameo, apparently, in the freaking movie? That's right, they had a little cameo, but you wouldn't have seen them. Do you even know what the Duffer Brothers look like? Probably not. Duffer Brothers, right? They were, yeah. They're like part of that whole thing when it comes to the Stranger Things. So that's them right there. That's the Duffer Brothers. And they had a cameo. They had a cameo in Predator Badlands. And it was basically they were the voice of Quai's ship. So in the beginning, when you have the ship that, of course, Deck gets on after things happen. No spoilers, but they were the voice. So apparently they like went back and forth with the voice. I don't know. You know, I have to watch it again. I don't even know what the Duffer Brothers sound like, but there you go. The Duffer Brothers. Part of that. And then again, what are we doing here, Ellie Fanning? Come on! Ellie Fanning has a fanny. Anyways, what? There she is, behind the scenes. Ellie Fanning, I saw that right there. She posted an image, and I'm just like... I knew about Ellie Fanning, but man, after watching Predator Badlands, I'm like, I'm seeing you in a whole different... Yeah, anyways. But yeah, that's a nice little picture right there that she posted. A nice little selfie in the mirror. I think she's wearing her the other one. There's Thea and what was the other? Teresa, whatever the hell. Yeah, Auga. What was the sister's name? Teresa, right? It's Thea and Teresa. You know, the two sister synthetics. And yeah, that looks like that's what she's wearing right there. But I should get that drop. What Al Pacino say? Great ass! Yeah, you know that one right there. I thought I actually did download that one. I might have downloaded it at one point, and maybe it just didn't happen, but yeah, I mean, she knows. I mean, she posted. I mean, she literally did the... Anyways. Hey, respectfully looking, guys. That's what it is. That's what it is. But I'm just saying... Ooh, we got a new subscriber. El Mundo de Fathi. Okay, cool. Mathi. Thank you for joining right here. All right, guys, let's get into the DCU news. What's going on, Jay? Good to see you. We got Versus Seed, Black Mamba Studios. Time passes so damn quick. I know, right? 3 years. I can't believe it's been 3 years. I would not have thought it was 3 years. So... Clone Avenger. I have not seen Frankenstein yet. I have not. And I do plan it hopefully this weekend or sometime this week. I can find time to watch it because I'm a Del Toro fan, so I can't wait to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. I wish it would be out in the fucking theaters around me, but there hasn't been any screenings around me. Netflix. Yeah, I could drive into, the shithole that is LA if I want to go watch it. Sure. But I don't want to do that. Sorry. Oy. Anyways, I'll watch it. Very much looking forward to it. All right, let's talk about some DCU news. And, like I said, it seemed like there wasn't going to be all that much. And then all of a sudden some things came out today, which is kind of cool. But let's go, in order of things that were, that appeared when it came to on the timeline. And we're starting, of course, off with Aaron Pierre in Lanterns. So... Men's Health magazine, of course, they're going to, anytime there's a superhero movie, action movie, of course, lead actor, they're going to, Men's Health is always going to be, you're going to run like a whole spread and, of course, talk about workouts, talk about diet, talk about all the stuff right here. But, of course, when it comes to Aaron Pierre, this is what he had to say right here. And, of course, I'm utilizing DC Films news Twitter handle right here because, they break it down pretty easily right here. Aaron Pierre thinks Jon Stewart and Batman would make the ultimate gym partners. I think that would be a great training session. They'd become great training buddies, great accountability buddies. There you go. There you go. We got some, Aaron Pierre who wants to train with Batman. So whoever becomes Batman, they better train together. We better get some behind the scenes of whoever that is. Brendan Sklenar, we're looking at you. Maybe? I don't know. And speaking of Batman, Jonathan Bailey. Who's Jonathan Bailey? Well, you guys know who Jonathan Bailey is. He's kind of risen up. He's skyrocketing. He's becoming the it guy right now when it comes to Wicked, and he was in Jurassic World Rebirth. He was actually asked, of course, when it came to, hey, people actually want you to play Batman. When asked if he played the DCU Batman, he says right here, I grew up with Val Kilmer, George Clooney, obviously Christian Bale, and Robert Pattinson. He grew up with Robert Pattinson? How young is this guy? It's a legacy, and I think James Gunn is amazing. Who knows? John Bailey voted Sexiest Man of the Year, too, by the way. And then, of course, people, what did the wokester, the anti-woke people say? You can't have a gay Batman. You can't have a gay Batman. Newsflash, you dumb fucks. Kevin Conroy, who's deemed the best Batman, at least when it comes to the voice, guess what he was? I'd hate to break it to you, but the man was gay. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that going to be okay? Yes, I know it wasn't live action, but at the same time, relax. It's okay. I don't think, when it comes to me personally, Jonathan Bailey, I'm like, nah, I can see it. But he's not mine, he's not like up there in the top choice. I wouldn't hate it, but, I know, it'd be a woke Batman. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of those guys have no idea that Kevin Conroy was gay. No idea. No idea. And when they find out, they're going to be like, their whole world's going to crumble down. Like, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's going to be like that, the whole thing in Total Recall and stuff. It's like, relax, guys. It's perfectly okay. But then, of course, when I push, I'm like, hey, but this kind of shows you right here that, hey, like, actors can play straight, gay actors could play straight and straight actors could play gay. I've been totally always backing up with that. That whole thing where you're like, you can't have a straight actor play gay. No, I think actors could play whatever because it's acting. Anyways, sorry, that's been my TED Talk. All right, Superman. When it comes to submitting for drama categories in Golden Globes, most likely none of this is going to be accepted and they're going to get nominated for everything. But again, you got a big movie, you try everything for award season. Superman has been submitted in the drama categories at the Golden Globes. Best Motion Picture, drama. Best Director, James Gunn. Best Actor, Corn Sweat. Best Supporting Actress, Brosnahan, even though that shouldn't be supporting, it should be just actors. I think she was like she was a good lead. And then, of course, Nicholas Hoult for Best Supporting Actor. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, Superman's going to get maybe nominated for the technical stuff, but it won't happen in anything like that. It would be insane if it did, but it's not. It's definitely not going to happen. And then, of course, we talked about Lanterns last week, that it possibly is going to be delayed till after Supergirl. We talked about that, and a lot of us were kind of going, oh man, that sucks, because apparently somebody saw something on some THR like email fucking, I don't know what it was, and then Green Lantern podcast was messaging somebody on a message board, I think on Reddit or something, that was basically saying that, oh yes, it's coming out after Supergirl. But according to, when it comes to, the Q3 stockholder letter that Warner Brothers put out there, because yes, Warner Brothers putting everything out there because, they're seeing who's, they're putting everything out there. They're like, hey, who wants to buy this? Who wants to buy this? But according, yeah, I'm sorry. That's just a visual. I'm giving you guys a visual aid of what Warner Brothers is doing right now, because everybody has access with stuff they're doing. They say that, Lanterns is still slated to be coming out at the beginning of 2026. So, I don't know. Guess we're going to have to wait. Who knows? Jesus. But then, of course, speaking of Supergirl, guess what's going to be at CCXP 25 this year? Oh, yeah, we'll have an interaction booth. Supergirl is going to have an interaction booth. So I'm wondering if Amelia Alcock's going to be there. I wonder if, can't remember the director's name at the top of my head right now. I wonder if he's going to be there. I wonder if Gunn is going to be there, or Saffron. Who's going to be there at CCXP 25? But apparently, yeah, there's going to be an interactive booth. So I'm guessing we will have a trailer around that time, or at least a teaser, some footage, some shots of her. I don't know. I think we're going to maybe get a shot of Jason Momoa as Lobo. That'd be smart. I think it would be smart if they release an image of Jason Momoa as Lobo, because a lot of people, that would blow up just as much as showing another shot of Amelia Alcock in the Supergirl costume, like full on doing the pose. Got to do the pose. Peacemaker finally made it on the Nielsen charts. What? Whoa! Oh man, it finally happened. A lot of people are like, yeah, Peacemaker ain't doing shit. But you know, yeah, Peacemaker, it's not on the top of everybody's list. You know, there's a lot of shows out there not on the top of the list, but it finally made the top 10. Look at that, guys. Whoa, number 10, just underneath Wednesday. And, you know, all the other ones right there. Naturally, you know, people are just obsessed. And I'm looking at you, ladies, and you're obsessed. You know, let's just face it. All my female friends have watched Monster, the Ed Gein story. But yeah, so that when it comes to streaming, Peacemaker finally cracked. He finally cracked when it came to original series. Top 10 right there. You're welcome. You're welcome, James Gunn. You know why? Because I told my dad to watch Peacemaker, and guess what? He loves it. We were talking about it on Thursday when we went and saw Predator Badlands. He was right at the episode. He just had finished the episode where you figure out it's the Nazi world. It is the Planet X world. That's where my dad is right now in Peacemaker. So I told him, I was like, dude, the next episode is insane. I mean, he's only got two. I think that's only 2 more episodes after that. But he really enjoys Peacemaker, and I'm like, there you go. You know, my dad, Pop's film junkie, loving him some Peacemaker. So finally cracked that. The Batman Part 2. We got the production designer Luke Hull. Guess what he's sharing right here? He's sharing some, you know, some interesting images of where they might be, you know, filming the Batman 2. That's pretty creepy. That's a cool little photo right there. Look at that. Whoa. Some interesting spots right here. There's a little tunnel right there. Gives, you know, a little bit of Dark Knight vibes. And look at some architecture right there. So he was posting some cryptic looking images just to kind of be like, you know, they're scoping locations right now. Of course, this is in Glasgow where they filmed the first one. But you know it's going to look good. Even though it doesn't have Fraser as the cinematographer, it's still going to look absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Swaybox Studios will hold online auditions on November 15th for DC Studios Dynamic Duo. That's right. You guys remember that we're getting this Robin Dynamic Duo movie that's going to be like partially stop motion, VFX, puppeteering kind of stuff when it comes to Swaybox. And they released this right here. Check this out. I'm kind of showing like a little bit of behind the scenes right here. And it's pretty cool looking, I'm not going to lie. Look at that. Have you ever dreamed of performing a DC Studios film? There's something cool about miniatures. There you go, right there. I don't know. I think it's going to be something very unique and pretty special right there. Of course, it's not going to be tied to the DCU, but, you know, both James Gunn and Matt Reeves are going to be help producing that, which is pretty freaking sweet right here. Alan Ritchson. What the hell? What is this quote right here with Screen Rant? Obviously, Alan Ritchson's been, on the top of people's list to play Batman, and I've always been kind of reluctant. Like, I wouldn't hate it, but he's not in my top 5. He's definitely not in my top 5, so I'm just kind of going like, I don't know about Alan Ritchson, but check out this quote right here. And this quote right here just kind of makes you go, wait, what? Alan Ritchson reveals he's in talks for a messier role in the DCU. I described to them the kind of personality that I'd want to play and what that would mean to their world. I want to play somebody a little dirtier than your typical clean-cut protagonist. Protagonist? Messier? Huh. Some people are going, well, maybe he's playing a villain, but he says protagonist. Messier. What are we thinking here? Your guess is as good as mine. It's not going to be Batman. Messier. I don't know. Could be something more low-key. Who knows? What do you guys think? You tell me. How are we feeling about that? How are we feeling about that quote? Huh? Yeah, some people were saying Wildcat, Hawkman, Captain Atom. Yeah, there could be that too. Let's see, what else we got? Okay. Now let's talk about the shows that were announced today. That's right, we got 2, not 1, but 2 streaming shows that are going to be happening that James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to be producing. And the first one is, who saw this one coming? Not me. V for Vendetta? What? A V for Vendetta TV series is in development at HBO. Pete Jackson set to write with James Gunn and Peter Safran as executive producers. Oh, remember the 5th of November. That's going to be interesting, especially in the political climate that we are in right now. Kind of wonder how that's going to go because, same thing with Watchmen when it came to the Watchmen movie, and took place back in the 80s during all the Cold War stuff and everything. And then the series had to do a whole different approach, and it was more modern day. So it's going to be interesting what happens when it comes to V for Vendetta. And then we already heard about this one right here, naturally, of course, because, it was already kind of scooped or whatever the hell, but good old Jimmy Olsen is getting his series. That's right, a Jimmy Olsen-led series is officially in development titled DC Crime. Season 1 will center on Gorilla Grodd. Dan Foralt and Tony Yacenda, American Vandal, developing the series. No confirmation yet from Jimmy Gunn's, though. Kind of interesting. This is all just coming from the trades, but I'm assuming that, he's just kind of busy or just lying low because, let's face it, sometimes Jimmy Gunn's needs to... But, so, it was already kind of teased. We'll see. But then it was also said in this article that, it's going to, focus on, they're going to have other Daily Planet characters. But it said that likely that David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan will not show up in the show. And I'm going, why would they not show up on the show? I mean, I get it that they're Superman and Lois. And yes, it's they're in the movies. It's all about the movies. But, I mean... This is, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm okay with it. I think this could be something unique and different in the whole thing where it comes to Gorilla Grodd. But I do sometimes go, okay, you're expanding the universe, but then you're telling me that your main players, which is Superman and Lois, are not going to show up in this, especially when it takes place at the Daily Planet. I just kind of go, they got to show up at least for one episode, right? I mean, you can come up with an excuse of where they're at, but I'm just kind of going well, maybe you just got to have them in there for a little, I don't know. But I'll still be watching, of course. I don't know if it's needed, but at the same time, I'm still going to be watching. And I think it could be something very interesting when it comes to that, just like the V for Vendetta one. Again, that one might be a little bit more, it's going to be a whole different tone and, darker and everything, but what could you do? Now let's talk about the Superman profits. Jesus Christ. Oh, is anybody else tired yet? I know. And when I saw this yesterday, I went, oh, here we go again. Yep, we got more of this whole Superman profits talk, which is absolutely hilarious because we keep going back and forth. And, no matter how you feel about it, you're right, I guess. I don't know. Everybody's just right. I mean, when I posted about this, naturally it blew up. And of course, I had people fighting, arguing in my mentions, which I even said in my tweet, oh, here's some more numbers that nerd boys and girls are going to be fighting about for the next week. And sure enough, I had people fighting. I had somebody who was very much against James Gunn, DCU, and of course a big Snyder guy. And then of course somebody who was on the opposite, who's a big James Gunn person, blah, 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 and doing all this stuff. And all I got to say is you guys both need to shut the fuck up. Everybody just needs to shut the fuck up. That's all. You know, you guys aren't experts. Nobody's experts. It's all about feelings. And we're never going to know the true numbers. But, anyways, let's go ahead and pull up this article right here from good old Mark Hughes, who is a fucking asshole. But hey, whatever. DCU Endgame. Oh, wait. Did he misspell Endgame? What? Did anybody even catch that? Right? This is Forbes, right? Or is this the way it's supposed to be spelled? Is there supposed to be a D in there? Anyways, I don't know. Again, Mark Hughes. What is James Gunn's superhero universe building toward? And of course, yeah, he talks about all this, but and we're not going to go through the entire article, of course. And, Mark Hughes is an interesting character when it comes to all this. But this is the article. This is the part of the article right here. Superman has also earned universal critical acclaim and high audience scores, as well as a strong streaming numbers and home entertainment sales and rentals. The film will have generated significantly more than $100 million in profits and approaching $150 million globally when all said and done. This year. It's not a failure. It didn't underperform. It was widely beloved by mainstream audiences and most fans, and no amount of resentment or wishes or lies will change those facts. Facts! I know, facts are weird, right? But again, we don't know. We're not going to ever know the exact numbers. But the thing that's interesting about this whole thing right here, and when you still have the people who are still trying to push back against it, saying it was a flop and it lost money and all this kind of stuff. I mean, literally, like they report the numbers. I mean, there's books, because they are for sale, that they're readily available data that is showing that, in fact, that Superman was profitable. Now, how much was that? Box office, streaming, and rentals. There could be merchandise that is, of course, pulled in there as well. I'm sure that's part of it. It doesn't specify like where everything came from, but let's face it, Superman is a brand. And you got to realize there is merchandise that is going to be a part of that. And then, of course, God knows what they took when it came to tax write-offs, when it came to licensing, when it came to doing ads like in the background and all that kind of stuff. It's all part of the game. We're never going to fully know what happened. All I could tell you is, guys, that yes, Superman is not a flop. And I know there's still guys out there that are still trying to say that Superman is 100% a flop. And what did I say on Friday, guys? They're sitting here calling me a liar, calling me a gaslighter when they are gaslighting themselves. And then I realized the reason why that they were going so hard at saying that Superman is a flop, because it hurts their hashtag. It hurts their precious little hashtag when it came to sell the Snyderverse to Netflix, because they were banking on Superman being a flop. The fact that it wasn't a flop, they were working overtime to convince their followers and people that it is a flop, because if it did crash and burn, guess what? Their hashtag would have been fueled. It would have been fueled. It would have had a charge to it. They didn't get that charge. In fact, they lost charge. So I was like, oh, that's why. That's why they keep on, going full on to it when it comes to that. But I don't know. It's all pretty crazy. But, like I said, no matter what, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall right now, and that is that Superman was a success. It wasn't a miraculous success, and I'm sure they wanted to do better, and they wanted the DCU to start off better 100%. Gunn's job is also not safe. You never know what could happen. If a merger happens, whoever buys Warner Brothers could be like, yeah, I don't want it. They could easily do that. His job is not 100% safe. So people on the Gunn side, the diehard Gunn side, you have to accept that reality too, that could also happen. There's always a chance. Okay? There's always a chance, possibilities. You just got to sit and wait. Okay? When people say like full force that they are 100%, oh yeah, it's happening, or oh yeah, don't worry, James Gunn's perfectly okay. It's like, no, James Gunn's not perfectly okay, and no, the Snyderverse is not being restored 100%. We don't It's like, relax, guys. You guys are going a little too crazy. Just saying. When is David Cornsweat going to be working in the gym for Amanda tomorrow? I'm sure he kept in shape. I'm sure he's kept in shape right here. Let's see. What did I want to pull up right here? Oh yeah, I want to pull up this right here. This is funny because I have to. Sorry guys, I just have to. I have to do this right here. This is I just it's funny. Okay, so and the reason why I push back against these guys because, like I said, they come after me. They talk about me as well. So I'm going to talk about them. And of course, good old Aaron Fisher. And of course, you guys know who that is. And this is what I'm talking about here. I've already said it. Like when I'm getting, shit thrown to me that I'm gaslighting, I go, Aaron Fisher gaslights his audience all the time, saying that the Superman was a flop when it wasn't, and James Gunn's out and all this kind of stuff and blah 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 this blah 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 that. Check out this tweet right here that was a month ago. I will trust Forbes over any unnamed source. Obviously talking about the Superman box office. And now that the Forbes article came out, guess what Aaron Fisher says? This is why you can't trust Forbes. All of a sudden, in a month, it's profited over 100 million. Prove it! Right there. He just showed his ass. Right there. Full of shit, gaslighter, grifter, right there. Just, it's right there. I mean, there's no other way to just say that right there. 100%. I mean, right there. The only thing I would suggest to these guys, if I could find some kind of middle ground, because I'm not a confrontational person. I'm not. If I could just find a middle ground with these guys, take the W that the fact that Superman did not beat Man of Steel at the box office. There's your W, okay? There's your W. But you have to stop lying to your audience and gaslighting people into saying that Superman, it was a flop. It was not a flop. Now, it wasn't a spectacular success, so you can also have that too. It should have made 700, should have made 800. You can have that, but stop saying it's a flop. And the fact of the matter is, as of right now, the DCU is moving forward. As of right now, Man of Tomorrow, the sequel to Superman, is moving forward. And that shows you that it was not a flop. Okay? Okay. Well, the only thing I'm seeing flopping is your freaking jaw or your tweets when you're beating your keyboard. Those are flopping. It's just getting embarrassing at this point, is what I'm saying. Just take your W's where you can and stop trying to do this. But again, I get why you're doing this because guess what? That takes the charge away from your fucking hashtags. I get it. That's what happens. Because obviously it's like, okay, if that happens, that means like certain studios are going to go with what James Gunn is doing and not, and they don't want you to pull Zack Snyder back and stuff. So yeah, I had to show that because it was just pure hypocrisy right there. These guys just show their asses. They show their asses. I just had to pull that up. I just had to do that because they're showing their asses. I mean, they are 100% showing their asses when it comes to this stuff. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's go ahead and move on right now. I think we're done. I think we're done with DC stuff. Was there anything else? I think that was all when it came to DC stuff, so I think we're good. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's move on to the Marvel Studios universe, MCU right here. Versus Seed. I just saw your thing. Avengers, Doomsday, what is going on with this trailer? I don't know. There are so many different things right here. I am just now, obviously I love it that Twitter, you have accounts that are just totally just anything that comes out with it, whether it's a scooper, whether it's just a rumor, whether it's just they're posting about it. So naturally we know that, yes, 100%, because I think it's like more of a duh that when it comes to Avatar Fire and Ice, which could possibly be a very huge movie, could be the biggest movie of the year, could be the only $1 billion movie of the year, because, the first two Avatar movies made $2 billion, so I'm willing to guess that Avatar Fire and Ash is going to make $1 billion, and it's going to be the only movie that had made $1 billion this year. So naturally, of course, being with Fox and being owned by Disney, Avengers Doomsday would put a teaser right in front of it. So naturally, yeah, the reports there from all over the place are saying, oh yeah, the first teaser is coming from there. No shit. Yeah, of course that's happening. But what's going on with the trailer? Well, according to Daniel RPK, the second trailer will show up with Spider-Man Brand New Day. Holy shit! Dude, I swear, these scoopers, how did they do it? How did he figure out that the second Avengers Doomsday trailer was going to show up in front of Spider-Man Brand New Day? The shit you say. Oh my God. I love that. Ooh, watch out. Scoop of the day. Big ol' scoop. I think my fucking aunt, who doesn't even know this, would know this. Like, whoa. So crazy. Anyways, all right. But according to Daniel RPK, too, when it comes to this, that, I don't know, it doesn't even make sense. Like, I mean, because I thought technically when it came to Steve Rogers, when it came to Infinity War, he was technically kind of playing Nomad, but I guess not really playing Nomad. But apparently in Avengers Doomsday, he's going to be playing Nomad. We're actually going to see the Nomad style of Steve Rogers. So there's that. I know this is not really talking about the trailer, but, oh, and then get this one right here. This is another one here, guys. Here's another one where you go, what? I swear, sometimes, like, this is why I wanted to talk about this, because the reports that people are reporting when it comes to Avengers Doomsday are just some of the most obvious shit, especially when it comes to the trailer right here. And this is from Christian Harloff, which I like Christian Harloff. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just kind of going like, it says right here, Dr. Doom's face will reportedly not be shown in the Avengers Doomsday trailer. What? They're not going to show Dr. Doom's face? What? It's like, it's just funny. I'm like, of course they're not going to show his face. Why would they show his face? They're going to show his mask. They're not going to show his face. Why would they show his face? Because it's Robert Downey Jr.? It's like everybody knows it's Robert Downey Jr. Oh, man. It's just so funny. Oh, Lilo and Stitch made $1 billion? Lilo and Stitch made $1 billion? No, did it? I thought it didn't make $1 billion. I thought it almost did. Maybe I'm thinking of Minecraft. You might be right. Okay, so Avatar will be the second one. Sorry. My bad. Thank you, Arkham Knight, for correcting me. I did not think, for some reason, I did not think that Lilo and Stitch, I thought it came close, just like Minecraft. I was wrong. Oh, and get this right here. This is kind of funny right here. How do you say her name? Famke Jensen, of course, who played Jean Grey in the original X-Men. Oh, she's not returning. And, of course, usually when we hear like about an actress or an actor that's not supposedly returning, you just kind of go, we'll see. I don't know. They haven't called me. They always do that whole little, I haven't got a phone call. They always do that whole thing but her quote right here, her quote right here, and then it kind of makes sense because look what happened, in the third X-Men movie. But check out this quote right here. Famke Jensen says she's not interested in returning as Jean Grey in Avengers Doomsday. It's hard for me now to just look back and worry or think about a part where I get a few lines. It just doesn't seem to interest me. Just a few lines, which probably weren't written yet. Because let's face it, we're kind of wondering if they actually had a full-on script or they were writing it as they were going along. I don't know. So either she's doing really good at deflecting the question, and it, again, does make sense because, technically Jean Grey is, no, but then again, they're bringing back Scott. I don't know. We'll see. But according to her, she's like, no interest. Why would I want to come back for a few lines? Because you get paid a shit ton for those few lines. And not to mention, you have fans. So it might be bullshit. I don't know. It all might be bullshit. And then, of course, we have Josh Brolin, who, of course, says, he teases, he said, if Joe Russo comes to me, which he may have, I don't know, and has an idea, then I might, he might come back. So also, Josh Brolin's kind of going like, I don't know, I might come back as Thanos. They come to me. So he's playing coy. He's doing the exact opposite of what Jansen did. And then finally, this is the last thing. It's the last thing right here when it comes to this Avengers Doomsday trailer, which is just crazy. Marvel has reportedly created 30 plus versions of the Avengers Doomsday trailer to choose from. Jesus Christ. I mean, that just sounds ridiculous, but it also sounds, yes, there's a lot riding on it, and it needs to be a big trailer. And there was even talks about, oh yeah, there's a version of the trailer that shows Steve Rogers and Peggy, and it shows them, and then there's a version that doesn't show them, and then there's just different 30 plus. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, how long is the trailer going to be? It's going to be a teaser, maybe like 30 seconds, minute. I don't know. That's just funny. 30 plus versions. And I just kind of wonder, like, when it comes to big movies, how many times, what is the average of versions that they have for these trailers? Because it's never just one. You know, it's never just one. You know, there's different, they do have different versions. I'm sure this is not a different thing, but 30 plus, that's a lot. Yeah, I would think like maybe 5, 6, 7, 30 plus. That's insane. But it's supposed to be a teaser. I don't think it's going to be 2 minutes if it's going to be a teaser. But then again, you could have I guess I always forget that a teaser can still be like 2 minutes, 2.5. Long as you're just teasing things and you're not showing much, it's still a teaser. Like the first Superman trailer was a teaser because it didn't really show you story. It just showed like different scenes, different shots quickly. So yeah, it could still be you're right. Yeah, time doesn't necessarily determine whether it's a teaser or just a regular trailer. You're right. Yeah, didn't think about that. I correct myself. That's it when it comes to this. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting. All I know is, yes, next month we are definitely getting the Avengers Doomsday teaser. We'll see what happens with it. And yeah, that's pretty much all we can just kind of go by right there. So Disney needs to pull Universal and keep the Doomsday trailer in theaters like yeah, they should do that. Try to do something like that. But of course, they're going to release it online. Disney knows that they get all their shit, when it comes online. It's just the way it is. They would not do that, sadly. That would be kind of cool, but they're not going to do that. All right, let's talk about this box office. After coming off a very difficult October box office, which apparently was one of the worst October box office months since like 1997, I think it was like reported. Pretty crazy to think about that. Like, Jesus Christ. Wasn't much there, and not a lot of people went to the movies, but hey, now we got some of the big movies. November is a big movie month, and there is a lot, there's some big movies that are coming out this month, and obviously Predator Badlands starting it off right here, and did fairly well, did fairly decent for an opening. So obviously we got the top right there. Predator Badlands, Regretting You. Black Phone 2, still holding strong. Sarah's Oil, another new one. Nuremberg, also a new one. And so we got all those right there. Predator Badlands sits cozy at worldwide, just under $80 million at $79.3 million right here. Apparently it had 102 box office. So it still has some work to do, but it's a decent start. Of course, the anti-wokesters out there are saying that it's, they're probably saying it's a flop or something like that. But, an $80 million worldwide start for a $103 million movie where it needs to get about $15 million to start profiting. I think it's on a good start, especially with the good word of mouth. But again, there is some big movies that are coming out in the next couple of weeks, so maybe it won't fully do it, but I think it's a pretty decent start, and hopefully that just warrants the sequels and stuff. Regretting You is actually doing pretty good. I think this movie only cost like $30 million, I think I saw. It's at 70.5 for like a small little drama movie. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Black Phone 2, which of course this has, again, we have what's his name right here. What's his name? Thames, whatever the hell his name is. What's the actor's name? The dude, the kid that's in that. He's also in Black Phone 2. He is currently he's had 3 number one box office number ones, which hasn't been done since Jim Carrey in 1994, which is kind of crazy. But he's in the top 5. He's got 2 movies, which is crazy. And the Black Phone 2 cost $30 million to make, and it sits at 120.2. $30 million that they made for Black Phone 2. It's already profiting. Already making profits. That just shows you right there. And I have a feeling we're going to get a Black Phone 3. I just have a feeling. I hope Scott Derrickson can come up with something pretty good, because I thought the second one was really good. So, and you know that they're knocking down. Universal's like, dude, we need another one. We need another one. They want to keep the, and if Scott Derrickson doesn't do it, somebody else is going to do it. I guarantee you. Sarah's Oil, which is more of like a family type of movie. It's actually got Zachary Levi in it. And it made $4.3 million domestic. I don't think it's going to get too much of an international. I'm not sure how much it cost, but that was an Amazon movie. I'm sure it's going to do well on Amazon. And then, of course, you have Nuremberg, which only made $3.9 million. My dad actually really wants to see this one. He was telling me, like, when we were at the movies, he was like, I want to see this movie. He's like really interested. A lot of people were also talking about, well, you got Die My Love, which I've heard really good things about, and I do want to see. This is the movie with Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. I definitely want to see this movie. But it came out this weekend, and it made 2.6. I hear it's really good, and people are saying that Jennifer Lawrence is a shoo-in for another nomination. I was like, okay, cool. And then, of course, we have Christie. No, wait. What? I don't think that's right. Isn't Christie supposed to be the boxing movie? Huh? Is that the right Christie? It's called Christie, right? Or am I losing my mind right here? Isn't that the movie? Did they mess up right here? Two Estranged Brothers. What the hell? I don't think that's right. Okay. That is the... Am I having a Mandela effect right now? Did something happen and they changed the timeline? What are we doing here? That is the movie, right? I think Box Office Mojo messed up. Yeah, they did. Box Office Mojo messed up. They put the wrong fucking movie right there. They put the wrong movie up there. They put some movie called Christie about two estranged brothers who they have bad childhoods in the care system, suddenly find themselves living under the same roof. They must now reconcile with their past and make decisions about the future. Wow. So Box Office Mojo, see, even the big websites, they fuck up. But no, it's funny because, it debuted at 11. And obviously there's still the controversy when it comes to Sydney Sweeney, because the media and a lot of people are really, really, really trying to make her out to be some white supremacist Nazi or whatever the hell, which is very odd. Because obviously the American Eagle jeans commercial, which, blew up and their sales skyrocketed, and it worked because people are just sick and tired of being, everybody being called a Nazi or a freaking white supremacist just because of certain things. I 100% do not think that Sydney Sweeney is that. There was like a new interview where some journalist was trying to get her, and she actually answered kind of funny, where she's like, nope, I don't want to respond to that. I was like, okay. And then, of course, now people who are against her are celebrating that her movie essentially flopped, and I'm going, well, yeah, there was no promotion. I have not seen any kind of promotion or marketing for this movie at all. This movie didn't stand a chance. Movie did not stand a chance. I didn't see a YouTube ad. I didn't see anything in the theaters. I have not seen any marketing for her movie, which is kind of crazy. They just did not market this movie. They did not push this movie really at all. Very strange. Whatever. And I thought that would be kind of cool because it's showing Sydney Sweeney as not the blonde bombshell. It's showing her in a whole different kind of role where she's totally just not that. So I was kind of going, well, that's good. It's kind of like Dwayne Johnson with the Smashing Machine, but the Smashing Machine also didn't do well. So it is kind of crazy, but I'm just like, you just get tired of the politics, because I'm like, you're trying to make her into something. She's not that. She's not that. I mean, you're doing that, and it's not working. It didn't work the first time when everybody got upset. It wasn't, she didn't comment on it. She just did the ad and moved on with her life. Everybody else freaked out. And then, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's all very weird. She's not just a good she's not, yeah. And I agree with that. I agree with that too. And I've said this many times. I've said this before, and I still hold true to this for myself, is I still don't see the big deal. I mean, I see the big deal. I get why, like, but I'm not one of those. I don't know. For some reason, I'm just like, oh yeah, she's nice to look at. Cool. She's nice to look at. but I never saw like that it girl, stuff, especially when she brings down her voice like this. Like even in that American Eagle jeans commercial, when she talks and she tries to bring her down all like sexy like, and I'm like, it doesn't work for me. I'm like, your voice, what are you doing with your voice? I don't see that. I just think it's ridiculous that they're trying to come after her and put her like this. But I'm just kind of going like, I don't see her as that great of an actress. I don't see like the big deal. Like she's like, if I'm going to do like a top 5 of like hot actresses or whatever the hell, or even top 10, she might not even be in it, to be honest. And I don't know. I guess I just don't see her like that. I'm like, she's not bad to look at, but I don't see the big deal. And then I'm like, when I've seen her in performances, I'm like, I don't get it. I'm not really getting it. But I thought it was just ridiculous, the whole, backlash that she was getting. That's all. Hello, Purnell, Florence Pugh. Oh yeah. Totally agree with you, Arkham Knight. Totally agree with you. I would take a Florence Pugh. And she's a better actress. Way better actress, to be honest, But, yeah, like I said, I just think it's still just weird that they're trying to go after her still after that jeans ad. It's just very strange. But, we'll see what happens. Zack Snyder, last photograph. What's happening? It's wrapped. That's right. Finally, it's wrapped. He's been filming it for a bit out in Colombia. And he did, he went into the Amazon too. And I don't know, the last photograph fascinates me. And I've been talking about, of course, obviously when it comes to Zack Snyder's Instagram and him posting mainly images of the last photograph, but of course peppering in some of the old behind the scenes of older movies, specifically, of course, the DC movies, which of course then go viral, then freak out. The loud side of the fandom just really freaks out. And of course, they start coming up with things like, oh my God, it's happening, he's coming back. Not really thinking about, oh, maybe this is just marketing. Maybe it's not that. Maybe you got to relax a little bit and whatever. But I wanted to bring up this article right here because I'm very much thinking that this is going to be the most unique Zack Snyder film that we're ever going to get. This could be a Zack Snyder film that, again, pushes back where even the haters go, oh shit, Zack, wow, I did not know your game. Which, of course, then we could say, hey, we try to tell you that I know you just thought he was like this, but no, if you watch like all his movies, he actually puts a little unique spin on all his movies. His movies aren't so much alike. I mean, even like his DC trilogy, they're different. Like Man of Steel has no slow motion in it. BVS does. And then, I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, I always say that the Snyderverse trilogy is like the first Star Wars trilogy, but the first Star Wars trilogy literally had 3 different directors, but like they had different tones, and all 3 of the DC stuff that Zack's done have different tones. If you watch all 3 of them, they don't have that much of a same tone, to be honest. Man of Steel stands out big time because, again, no slow-mo, and there's a lot of like fast, it's fast. But so when it comes to the last photograph, I'm just kind of going like, all right, it seems like there's no distribution really when it comes to this. It seems like this is all Storm Quarry right now. And I keep emphasizing this, that now I think that he is going to be taking this to film festivals to sell this movie. And that would be the ultimate, like, Jesus Christ. Wouldn't that just be the ultimate, like Zack Snyder goes, hey, he's going to get a fucking, 17-minute goddamn standing ovation and blah, blah, blah. They can do all this stuff. But then, of course, like, oh, yeah, so-and-so acquires Zack Snyder's last photograph. And it's going to be, but check out this article right here where they talk about, Zack Snyder and Columbia. Variety posted this right here saying Zack Snyder, Kiefer Sutherland hit Columbia as country enjoys international production boom. So seems like people are going to be like going into Columbia when it comes to all this. Now it does say Netflix, but right here. But this is the last photograph is not a Netflix movie. It's definitely not a Netflix movie. It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, they talk about, Columbia and all this stuff right here. But here's the article. God damn it, this stupid thing. But here's the article right here that was saying, Zack Snyder, renowned for such big budget movies as 300, Man of Steel, and Justice League, wrapped filming in Colombia of his passion project, the last photograph, in October, he was more than impressed by how quickly the local crew and talent adapted to his fast-paced shooting style. So that's good. He's utilizing those crews down there. Very cool. And it talks about all this, talks about renting equipment and everything. And right here, it's kind of interesting too. Filming in Bogota, Chingaza National Park, and the Amazon, Snyder was not only directing, but served as his own DP and camera operator, where he averaged 40 setups a day. He tells Variety, 40, Zack, you silly bastard. If you guys know, you know. 40 Club, anyone? Okay. The only people who accompanied him were his gaffer, his first assistant camera producer, and still photographer. The rest were local hires arranged by production services company Jaguar Byte. All his equipment was rented in Colombia except for his trusty Arri Alexa 296 digital camera. So that's cool. And then here's Zack quoting right here, which is good. I love this. It's a more intimate movie in scope and scale, but it doesn't really matter how big it is. It's still the same amount of work, if not more. He says his newly launched Instagram, featuring behind-the-scenes shots while filming in Colombia, quickly amassed 250,000 plus followers in a few weeks. And then, of course, they talk about Kiefer Sutherland right here. I'm telling you guys, and this is what I said on the Vox stream, and I posted it in, an actual video of it. While everybody the Snyder fandom is just 100% thinking, he's back, he's coming back, DC, blah, restore the Snyderverse, and sell, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. I'm sitting here going like, the dude is brilliant. He's marketing his movie because he does not have distribution. Nobody owns this movie except for Stone Quarry. And he utilized his Instagram by peppering in some of that stuff to put eyes on his Instagram. And now look at how many followers he has. Look at how many, he's had almost 300,000 now. He's had almost 300,000 followers. And I'm not saying it's all because of that, but my God, look at this right here. And, obviously he's had the recent one we already talked about when it came to Jared Leto's Joker right here. Oh, he must be talking about Justice League 2. He's holding out 2. Shut up. That's not what it is. Stop it. And I love this one right here, which of course a lot of people were passing around as well because they think it has to do with DC again. But right here it says, I feel like the number of fucks I'm giving in this photo is very close to 0. Also, this Arri 265, obviously the camera that they talked about in the Variety article, is awesome. Big thanks to Arri for supplying this amazing camera. Such an awesome shot right there. Hey, there's a Batman, or a Batman stuntman. That's right, Mr. Richard Citrone. Special thanks to these two legends, of course, Richard Citrone, and then you got Mike Justice for coming out to shoot on our last day. So good old Richie Citrone is going to be in the last photograph. You got to love that. And then we got this right here from the last photograph, taken in the misty mountains outside Bogota, with a Leica monochrome and 18 millimeter. That's a beautiful shot right there. And then, of course, the big, huge IMAX camera. This was on BVS. IMAX is fun to shoot. Yeah, so we've seen another shot. We've seen another shot of him, different shot where he's holding this camera. But man, yeah, those cameras are like fucking, I think they're close to like 100 pounds or something. Close to like 100 pounds. But Zack is doing Zack things. He's doing such, and again, it's fueling where people are noticing his movie. Yes, there's all this talk about stuff like that and the DC stuff, and it's always going to be appreciative of that. But I just say pump the brakes. Do not hype yourselves up to only be disappointed. I know people are like, something big is coming on November 17th, which I'm going, well, Zack probably will post something on November 17th because anniversary of, when Justice League was originally supposed to come out, not his version. But then, of course, there was like the same time when, of course, the Snyder Cut was being pitched and Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and all the, people were supporting it. So I would not be surprised if Zack does post something Justice League that we probably have not seen before in a week from today. I would not be surprised if that happens. Some people actually out there think that it's going to be an announcement. Again, let these guys just get disappointed on their own that it's not going to be an announcement because we don't even know where Warner Brothers is going. But hey, I could only say so much. Again, I just get called all the names that I'm a grifter, hater, alcoholic, asshole, bitch, whatever the hell these guys want to throw at me. But I'm just like, why are these guys doing that? And I know there's going to be people that are going to be doing other campaigns, which I know they're going to be doing. So stupid. There is a campaign that is coming out though too that I saw that has nothing to do with the stupid hashtags. Doesn't have anything to do with the stupid hashtags, but apparently there actually is going to be a campaign that actually is a good hashtag, and it actually is a good purpose, which is an AFSP thing, where on November 17th, apparently what's going to be happening, there is actually a Justice Pledge hashtag that's going to be utilized, and they're basically saying like, hey, whatever you would spend on a movie ticket, donate it to AFSP. No other hashtag is attached to that, okay? No stupid sell hashtags, no make the Batfleck, make, Henry Cavill Superman, no release the Emerald cut of Snyder cut. None of the fucking 27 hashtags. It's just one hashtag that is strictly about donating to AFSP. That one I can get behind. I can get behind that one. Totally get behind that one. Thank God. When I first saw it, I went, "Oh no! Oh, okay. It's just that. Okay." So that's okay. That's fine. That's okay. Donate to AFSP. Nothing wrong with that. But it's just that. And then of course you could use the hashtag Justice Pledge. That's what they're using. Which go ahead and use it. Fine. I'm gonna donate to AFSP. Like I said, they just say the price of a movie ticket, throw it at AFSP, and that's just kind of show your love. So, gonna be interesting. So, anyways, what are you guys talking about? What did Stephanie get one of her messages deleted by Ryan? Keep saying Zack is irrelevant without DC. Oh, I think I think I might have got a little. Oh, okay. It's all good. It's all good. Sometimes it happens. Don't worry. Sometimes it happens. But that's, you bring up a good point. Like, even in my comments, because, I've been heavily trying to, every now and again, I dive into my comments and my videos, and it's amazing how some of these guys, they don't give a shit about anything outside of DC when it comes to Zack. They don't give a shit. And they're so 100% certain that all this is all what he's doing, and it's because he's coming back. I'm like, fucking 86% of his Instagram is the last photograph. It's so freaking, it's like, yes, anything could happen, but who knows? It's all frustrating. I responded to all that. And like I said, I don't want to keep on responding to it. I don't know if what's his name, the Lethal Geeks guy, responded to my video where I, asked the two questions, or I responded to just two things from his video. I really don't want to keep on going back and forth. I'm not really a confrontational guy. But like I said, you start asking questions. These guys hate it when people ask questions. All right, let's go to the Twitter. I have late night fantasies about Zack. Okay. Interesting. All right, here we go. Twitter. Eric, hey Dave, the thought just occurred to me tonight. Elon just got $1 trillion reward package approved by Tesla shareholders. Meanwhile, WB's for sale with Paramount and Netflix both kind of dragging their feet on it. Well, that's different. These are just movies and entertainment. At least when it comes to Tesla, it is renewable energy. It is, it is supposed to be electric energy, even though, it's so funny because, when it comes to Musk and what he's doing, I'm not one of those, people that just think Elon Musk is the devil now. But he still scares me. He still scares me when he talks about AI. He still scares me with some of the stuff that he puts out there. I still kind of go, I still find him a little scary. But, I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there and torch a Tesla or try to key a Tesla like a lot of people are doing. Ryan, have you seen, I have not seen Frankenstein yet. It's outstanding. Put Jacob Elordi. Yeah, some people were saying that, he could play a Bruce Wayne. I don't know if I see it. He has a baby face. He has a baby face. He's tall. He's lean, but I don't see it. I don't see it as a Batman. He's too young. The Batman in the DCU is not going to be that young. But people are even saying that for him for James Bond as well, so that's interesting. Let's see, Parag. Hey, what if Salvation Run turns out to be the Deathstroke and Bane movie we've been hearing rumors about? Interesting point. Like, what if they are like part of it already, or maybe they've already been put on the Salvation. That's interesting. You know, I don't know. It's kind of it's gonna be. I don't know. Gunn hasn't even talked about that movie, which is crazy. Mr. Nobody, hey Dave, for Avengers Doomsday, do you think that Doctor Doom will follow the same plot as Kingpin from Into the Spider-Verse and Wanda from Multiverse of Madness? Well, oh yeah, so Doom is going to be like a bad guy? I mean, there's a possibility. I think there was always that speculation, even with those like supposedly fake concept art that came out. It showed Doctor Doom. I'm thinking of Doctor Strange. Sorry, Doctor Doom is going to follow the same plot as similar plot where he wants to control, and go through the mall. Yeah, I could see that. I was thinking Doctor Strange, totally just like, there's too many doctors. It seems like with the incursions of common theme is heroes or villains lose someone they love and travel the multiverse to find the variants. Yeah, it could be that. By the way, what's up with Predator Badlands box office? It's the first time I've ever seen on Box Office Mojo in the exact 50%, 40. Yeah, it was 40 international. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, if you're looking at the box office numbers, anytime they posted on a new movie on Sunday, they're always rough numbers. They always round up or down. But obviously now they got the full on numbers. So I guess you could say it's kind of, let's go back to, it kind of is a 50. It's pretty much a 50-50 split, which is good. Like I said, I don't know how many times that we had the argument about Superman's domestic box office. You know, Superman box office. Everybody's like saying that domestic. Nobody talks about domestic. When domestic, you want to have a bigger domestic than you do international, because then the studio gets more money back. But again, those guys are experts, Darkness on the Wind. Dave, question 1. Do you agree the Lantern show must have Hal and John be in their Lantern suits as well as mixed with being out of the suits, keeping how much screen? Yes. I hope we get I don't think we're going to get a ton of them in their suits, but hopefully there's a good amount. Question 2, do you agree characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Moon Knight, etc. should have their solo projects at least be balanced of scenes with them in and out of their suits rather than them out of... Well, it depends on the writing. It really just depends on the writing. Daredevil did a good job with season 1 where it built up to the suit, and I love the black ninja suit. So it just depends on the writing, depends on the story, in my opinion. Question 3, if Daredevil Born Again Season 3 is the final season, do you think characters like Bullseye, Fisk, and maybe even Punisher will die? Always a possibility. Somebody's going to have to die, right? Somebody most likely will. Oops. Devin Wooter. Hey, Dave, how many L's Zack Snyder fans need to take because James Gunn Superman will they give up? Yeah, it's just the diehard ones, though. That's what sucks, because most Zack Snyder fans are not like them. They're just the loud ones. But sadly, the loud ones get the most attention. You know how it is. It sucks, because I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan, and I'll get responses and comments and mentions. I've been called all kinds of names, and they say that they tell me, oh, move on, or you're a Snyder cunt, or a Snyder tard, or something like that. I get all that stuff too, and it sucks, because it's those loud guys that are putting a bad name on the fandom. Sweeney, the actress from Madam Web, her new movie bombed badly. Do you think people are sick of her? I don't think people are sick of her. I don't think people even knew about the movie. Do you think other studios like Marvel and DC will stay away from her? No. No, they won't stay away from her. Yep, there's my stalker guy who pretends to be other people. And then we got Joshua G. I don't know why, Joshua G, you always get put into the probable spam. I don't know what is with that. It's weird. Hey Dave, I randomly had a thought. What if Avengers Doomsday isn't the biggest film of 2026? What if it's actually the Michael Jackson movie? Could be. You know what? That is an astute observation right there. There is a possibility. I think the Michael Jackson movie could be the biggest movie of 2026. It very well could be. So they should divide it up into 2 movies if they have to. That's the biggest film next year, especially since he's the biggest musician ever around the world. I'm thinking $2 billion. Woo. I don't know about $2 billion, but you never know. I think it could be. You might be onto something there. Hey, Dave, I honestly notice a huge difference between this app and Instagram and TikTok with the DC fandom. Here, everyone is so freaking miserable and arguing, while on the other apps, everyone is making videos being excited. Yeah, Twitter's kind of like the cesspool. It's a wasteland. It definitely is. And that's why I like it. No, I'm just like, I like Twitter because everything's just cool, and that's where I met a lot of people, and I get a lot of my news, and obviously I utilize Twitter as a tool. Yeah, I get it, and I see that too. Yeah, a lot of the other apps they're a lot happier. They are definitely a lot happier, but I do appreciate Twitter for just being, not. Now, there was times where people were getting blah. And there's a lot of bots, and and I know Musk was trying to get rid of those and not really doing the greatest job. But to be honest, Twitter's just, for me, it's good for getting news and getting out there. It's a good tool, at least for me. But Twitter, like I said, if you sometimes you need a break. Like when if I'm like gonna lie in bed at night, I don't want to look at Twitter. I log off of Twitter. When I lie in bed, I try not to look at Twitter because I'm like, I've been looking at it on and off all day. I need a break. So I'll scroll through Instagram or TikTok and just see what's going on over there. But at night when I'm done, I'm like, no more Twitter. No more freaking Twitter, I tell you. So, yeah. Sometimes I just do that. By the way, I have speaking of TikTok, my Mummy video about the Mummy 3 and remember how I talked about, I posted the video on YouTube. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I posted about the Mummy sequel last week. And then I said that, I saw people fan casting David Cornsweet to play their son, which I thought would be perfect because everybody was always saying that Cornsweet gave 90s Brendan Fraser vibes, like just by looks. That video has gone, my video that I posted on TikTok yesterday, it's gone viral. It's over like 100,000 views right now. It's crazy. I was like, I did not think that was going to happen. It didn't really do much on YouTube, but it's like blowing up on TikTok. It just kind of shows you like TikTok's algorithm is so weird. But it's just like, it was just crazy because I was like, pretty much the past 24 hours, I just keep getting notifications, people commenting, either agreeing with the casting or putting in different and the thing's going freaking crazy. So, man, it's always crazy when something pops off like that. But yeah, that video is just going crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, guys. That is today's show. My God. It all went out without a hitch. So glad that's good. So remember, guys, hit that like, thumbs up. And Wednesday show, again, is a members-only Film Junkee Live, so look forward to that. And then DC Fanimated, I think, is going to be pre-recorded, so that'll be, of course, at 7 o'clock. I'll be debuting that at 7 o'clock, so great talking with you guys. Like I said, let's all be positive. Let's all be good. And, like I said, if there's any other news that comes out, I'll do some videos accordingly. But like I said, if you're a member, I'll make sure to do it right to make sure you get a notification so you can join me. And so if you want to support the channel and do all that, it'll be fun. All right, guys, have a good rest of your night. Have a good Tuesday, and I'll see some of you guys on Wednesday. Talk to you later.